Good morning to all. I am Dr. K. Chennakeshulu, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology. Today I am going to give a lecture on thermal analysis and introduction to thermokinetics. Before going to the lecture, I would like to acknowledge the management of Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, and with the blessings of our founder, Colonel Dr. J.P.R. sir, I am dedicating this presentation to Colonel Dr. J.P.R. sir. The thermal analysis. Thermal analysis is a field which is dealing the science of materials with respect to the temperature. With the temperature, how the materials will undergo physical and chemical changes. So before going to the thermal analysis, I would like to give definitions of small new words. Some of the words may be old, it might be familiar to you, but even though we would like to revise them. So matter is nothing but which is having a matter and value. This phase, physically distinguishable or physically severable system, or mechanically if we could able to touch, or physically if we could able to touch anything, that is known as phase. This matter will undergo two changes. One is physical change and chemical change. If you apply the temperature on a material, matter will undergo two changes. One is physical change and the second one is chemical change. The matter has two types of properties. One is intensive property and extensive property. Intensive property is nothing but it does not depending on the amount of quantity of a material. That is a intensive property: melting point, boiling point, vapor pressure, color, density, electrical conductivity, solubility. All these are intensive properties. And if we come to the extensive properties, that is a chemical change, reaction. So with acids, reactions with bases, they will be undergoing chemical changes. That means in physical sense, there is no change in chemical composition and they will be changing its physical properties except mass and volume. Mass, volume are extensive properties. Mass is depending on the amount of amount of the material, and volume also depending on amount of the material. Thermal techniques which we are going to see, we are having three thermal techniques. One is thermogravimetric analysis and differential thermal analysis and differential scanning calorimetry. The simultaneous thermal analysis, that is TGA or DSE, TGA, DTA, TGA FTIR, TGA MS. If you couple TGA with these techniques, we will get an additional information of phase change, additional information of exothermic or endothermic, additional information of functional groups, additional information of the fragments which might have gone from the material or molecule. These are the thermal techniques which we are going to discuss: DTA, DSE, TGA. DTA will give difference in temperature, and DSE will give differential scanning calorimetry, which will give the change in enthalpy, and determination of melting point can be done by DSE, and liquid crystalline behavior also can be analyzed by DSE. And TG, thermogravimetric analysis, what property or which thing we are going to analyze? Mass versus temperature. In this we can analyze the thermal stability of a material. We may not discuss much about TMA and DMA. These are the different properties which we are going to analyze by thermal techniques. TGA is applicable for analysis of sublimation, evaporation, dehydration, and thermal decomposition, which are shown here. These two things which we are going to analyze at right now. TGA will give an information on mass versus temperature relation. If you come to the instrumentation part of TGA, TGA is an equipment which has in two modes. One is a vertical TGA and horizontal TGA. In vertical TGA, we will hang the sample and we will maintain the uniform temperature throughout the furnace. In horizontal TGA, we are keeping sample on the sample vial, and just horizontal TGA, we cannot go for more weight of samples. That means if you beyond 1 gram, beyond in gram, or beyond 100 milligrams, if you are the horizontal TGA may not be reliable, because diffusion of the sample or sublimation of the sample. And if it is in hanging position, we can purge the gas and we can send the decomposed gases from the reaction chamber in vertical TGA. That is the advantage of vertical TGA. The TGA will be having these components. One is source, sample and discriminator, detector and output, and the information obtained from TGA. Two types. This is the black diagram of TGA. In TGA, we don't have any reference. We are having a sample. We will be applying the heat. The heat will be absorbed by the material and it will be undergoing the physical and chemical changes. That is what happening in TGA. In TGA, we have to discuss two important parameters here. One is a thermocouple, which will be sensing or which will be detecting the temperature of the furnace, and the balance, which will be detecting the weight of the sample. This is the TGA principle. This is a vertical TGA. Even horizontal TGA will be in, like in horizontal only. And reactions in TGA chamber. These are the reactions which will be happening in TGA chamber. One is evaporation, dehydration, decomposition, and oxidation reaction. The factors affecting the thermogram. What is thermogram? The whatever temperature versus matter or weight percentage relation we are expressing in the form of thermogram. Matter weight percentage will be on y-axis and temperature will be on x-axis. If you get the curve with this relation, that is known as a thermogram. The thermogram shape will be depending on the amount atmosphere, at which atmosphere you are conducting your TGA, and thermal conductivity of the sample, heating rate, and calibrated thermocouples. Even TGA applications, TGA will be useful for detecting the water content and inclusion behavior. Let us take a solvent molecules which are embedded or impregnated in a polymer matrix or otherwise mesoporous or microporous materials, which can able to hold water or any moisture or any other molecules in its pores. The amount of solvent or molecules which are impregnated or which are settled in the pores or enclosed, that inclusion behavior can be analyzed by TGA, and the thermal stability of any material. Let us take polymer. If polymer is having antioxidant or flame retardant material, we can analyze, and the amount of antioxidant present in the polymer can be analyzed. These are the applications of TGA, and one of the important standard sample which we are using is calcium oxalate. Calcium oxalate will give three-step decomposition. You can see by seeing the thermogram, this green curve, we are having three humps. From this curve, just we can get the weight change or weight percentage change in each step. But really, if we want to see the minute changes in thermogram, we have to go for an derivative. This is the first derivative. First derivative is giving three steps. That means calcium oxalate will be decomposing in three steps. First step is water loss. Second step either CO or CO2. Third step CO2 loss. These are the three steps. See, by seeing the DTG curve, we could able to predict the sample will be undergoing in three-step decomposition. This is what the important information we can get from TGA or thermogram or DTG curve. Similarly, at which temperature which gas may have evolved. If you are coupling TGA with FTIR or mass, we can analyze this. At 100 to 200 degrees centigrade, water is evaporating. That's what this blue color is showing. Black color is a weight of the sample. Blue color is a water content. Green color is an carbon monoxide content. Red color is carbon dioxide content. This TGA is taken in inert atmosphere, and the amount of CO2 at inert atmosphere is very less. The same experiment if you are doing at in open atmosphere, what will happen? Oxygen will react with this carbon monoxide, and this red peak will, intensity of this red peak will be higher. That is what the major difference between the inert atmosphere and static air atmosphere. Similarly, the at 700 to 800 CO2 will be decomposed. 39.12 will be the residual concentration of calcium oxalate. Similarly, one more example we have taken here, lactose. Lactose monohydrate will be having a water content of 5%. And if you see the DTG curve, it is showing 3 peaks. That means this lactose is decomposed in 3-step mechanism. Let us see this lactose TGA curve after keeping the lactose 2 weeks in open atmosphere. The green color is a normal as it is received, and the blue color is after 2 weeks. The weight percentage of the water is a 5% as received after 2 weeks. It become 9.2%. This will tell us the quantification of water content present in the lactose. That means in even quantification of water content, if you want to analyze, this TGA is very useful. And TGA DTG curve of anhydrous Portland cement. Portland cement is composed with gypsum, portlandite and carbonated phases. Gypsum will give a peak at 100 to 200 degrees centigrade. At 400 degrees centigrade, portlandite, which will be magnesium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide will give peak at this point. And C, carbonated phase or carbon dioxide gas will evolve at this temperature, that is at 570. Even thermogram of one material called caligirine with toluene. Caligirine is a bucket type molecule. Toluene can include in that. That is what this included or includes, not included, inclusion. Xylene or toluene can be quantified by TGA. That is what the advantage of this TGA for macrocyclic chemistry, particularly for macrocyclic and supramolecular chemistry. And inclusion behavior of for sample, caligirine sample with different amines. See that depends on the inclusion solvent or amine ammonium material. The TGA shape, curve shape is changing. That means with inclusion TGA curve is changing. This is the black diagram of DTA. And the difference between TGA and DTA is TGA doesn't have any reference, but DTA has a reference and sample. The difference in reference and sample temperature will be taken in y-axis and temperature will be on x-axis. This is what if you are getting the relation between this del T versus T, that is known as differential thermal analysis. What is the importance of DTA, or what information we can get from DTA? From DTA, whether the sample is undergoing exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction, we can identify by setting and default information on equipment, above peaks or exo, below peaks or endo, or above peaks or end, like vice versa. As per our wish, we can set the endothermic, exothermic peaks and we can identify DSC, heat flow difference, TGA, DTA and DSC. TGA doesn't have reference, DT, the differential DTA has a reference, DSC. And what is the difference between this DTA and DSC? The DTA will find the difference between the sample and reference temperatures, but DSC will measure the heat flow difference between reference and sample. Heat flow will be on y-axis, temperature will be on y-axis. From DSC, what other information we can get? One is the melting point of material can be, and that is phase transition can be identified, and liquid crystalline behavior can be identified, and heat of enthalpy can be calculated from DSC curve.